the presidential motorcade. He was greeted by the governor and the mayor of Milwaukee on the tarmac and then headed to Masterlock right now. And we have live team coverage of the president's visit, both our Tom Murray and our Nick Montes, who've been on assignment since early this morning.
Nick is live at General Mitchell, and Tom Murray is at Masterlock awaiting the president's arrival. But let's head to Masterlock headquarters, where we find our Tom Murray. Now, Tom, do we know, is the president still on schedule at this point? We do know he's on his way there right now.
Yes, we are waiting his arrival here at Masterlock at 32nd and Center in Milwaukee's North Side. There are 500-some Masterlock employees who are gathered here on the manufacturing floor. This is the floor that on a daily basis is used to make padlock and other Masterlock security equipment. We're told when the president arrives here that he will take a short tour, get a chance to speak with some of the employees. Masterlock, a company that brought work that had been done in China by third-party contractors back to Milwaukee, hiring back about 150 employees here in the Milwaukee area, with plans to add dozens more over the next couple of years. Masterlock climbed high on the president's radar screen very quickly. The CEO participated in the president's insourcing forum about a month ago. The president's so intrigued, Masterlock got a heads up that the president wanted to mention the company in the State of the Union address. The CEO says that the visit here to Milwaukee was planned after the State of the Union. And keep in mind that Wisconsin is a true battleground state in November's election. Republicans are charging that this visit to Milwaukee is a campaign rally disguised as a presidential visit. Now, we did speak to the CEO here. He was saying that hosting the president is not an endorsement of policy or initiatives or politics. Take a listen first to Republican National Committee Chair Reince Priebus, then Masterlock CEO John Hefner.
No, he's coming as the President of the United States so that the taxpayers have to pay for the trip, but he's using the taxpayers' money to campaign so they can get reelected to put us further into debt and drive our economy further in the ditch.
To the extent that we can bring more jobs back to America, I don't know how anyone would label that partisan. I look at it as that's good for all of us to have those jobs back. So no, I don't look at it as a partisan event at all.
So in other words, you'd be just as willing to host a Republican president?
Clearly, and if they could help us and we could help them, I would clearly do that, absolutely.
And back out here live at Masterlock, a Masterlock employee is just taking to the podium. He will lead the crowd here in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
So this really just the beginning of the festivities of the events here. We do expect to hear from CEO John Hefner on stage. He tells me that he will speak. Now, the president will also mention two other Wisconsin companies as part of his remarks today. One is Collaborative Consulting, which actually has its headquarters in Boston, but recently opened a job center in Wausau. These are jobs that had previously been done overseas, and the reason that they opened in Wausau is because there is the cost of living is low enough there that the wages are competitive enough that it made sense to bring some IT jobs to Wausau. The second company is Diamond Precision Products. They're over in Johnson Creek. They are a machine component manufacturer, and they have instead of using suppliers in China, have started shifting to using local suppliers wherever they can. This is all part of the president's so-called insourcing initiative, bringing jobs that were at one point sent overseas, sent to Mexico, finding ways that it makes sense to bring those jobs back to the country. And keep in mind that the companies that are doing this are not just doing it for the good of the country. It has to make sense to their bottom line. And Masterlock says, in their case, and in the case of these other companies that we mentioned in Wisconsin, they have found ways where it makes financial sense to bring these jobs back to Wisconsin and other parts of the country.
All right, Tom Murray live inside Masterlock, awaiting President Obama's arrival. Thanks so much, Tom. And we found protesters outside of Masterlock. This is a live picture. You can see several people out there, including several protesters. The Occupy Milwaukee Facebook page has been calling on people to come out and protest the event. We're looking at some video here. We're not sure exactly who's behind the protest, but there are plenty of protesters outside. We have a reporter on this story, and we'll have more information as the day goes on.
It's 12:05, and we continue this team coverage of the president's arrival, this time at General Mitchell International.
We found out today that Governor Walker decided to pass on an appearance at Masterlock.
Our Nick Montez is out at the airport, and Nick, he was there, was the governor, and so were some others to greet him as well.
Yeah, actually, there were. Air Force One right behind me. It's huge, as you can see there. It took center stage as it landed at about 11:32. Those dignitaries that were here to greet the president, Mayor Barrett, Governor Scott Walker shook his hand, but is not touring Masterlock. Now, Colonel Mike Mayo, Vice Commander, 128th Air Refueling Wing, was also here to greet the president. And Congresswoman Gwen Moore was also actually on Air Force One, and she will be with the president through his trip here in Milwaukee. Again, it landed here at about 11:32. The president took a few minutes to recognize the dignitaries, then walked over to greet family and friends of the staff here at the base, and then quickly got into his car and took off in the presidential motorcade and is headed over to Masterlock as we speak.
All right, Nick Montez live for us at Mitchell International. Nick, thank you.
President Obama's attention today. He has been standing outside Masterlock since 9 o'clock this morning, and he's still there advertising a serious message.
I mean, this is embarrassing right now, saying I want to work, but it's like embarrassment is not an issue. The issue is to get back to work so I can hold my head high.
Pete Marari is desperate for a job. Laid off from Gordon Flesh in 2009 after decades working as an electronics technician, this 55-year-old Milwaukee man is struggling to make ends meet.
Just because I'm over 50 doesn't mean I don't have a purpose any longer.
Today he's spreading that message, standing on the corner of 32nd and Clark with his portfolio.
These are all letters of recommendation.
Marari is hoping to get President Obama's attention on his way in or out of Masterlock.
I'd like him to know that we're not giving up in Milwaukee. We want to get back to work.
Masterlock's decision to insource 150 jobs from China back to its Milwaukee headquarters is the reason for President Obama's visit. And Marari thinks that's a good start.
I'm glad that he came here to show Masterlock so other companies that might want to farm out the jobs might not do so and keep their jobs in the city and state rather than overseas.
But Marari worries our country needs to do more.
I would have never have dreamed of this happening.
And Marari says he also belongs to several networking groups, but so far he remains jobless.